Janet Johnson here with Social Media Hangout Time. Thanks for joining us today. We are here today with Kimmy, the social media puppet, who, if you've been here before, you know she's a salon owner. And we're also here with our guest, who is Dino Dogan.
Who's also a puppet.
Hey, all right, I love it. Hi, everybody.
Well, we're going to have fun here today. We're going to talk a little bit about how to stand out in the crowd, because that's what we talk about with our program. And we're going to talk about the Tribber, which a lot of people haven't heard of, is Tribber, which is, I'm going to let Dino get into that, but I'm just going to talk about who Dino is first. He is the founder of Tribber, and he is Lousy Mixed Martial Artist. I'm going to let him explain that one. And a recovering network engineer. Well, I can understand that one. He's a pretty good singer-songwriter, so we might have to have him sing to us today. And a trainer of dogs and a blogger of biz. Fun at parties, I can already tell just by meeting him in the first few minutes. And a global force for badassery. So welcome.
I love it. It's fun to talk to badasseries. No.
Thank you, guys. It's great to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We welcome you to our show. And we want to go into, first, I want to always have Kimmy ask her favorite question to you.
Okay. It's real serious, you guys. Hey, Dino, have you ever been interviewed by a puppet?
Never. I've never been interviewed by a puppet. This is a first, and I'm loving it.
It's awesome. Just have fun. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about a little bit. First, let's start with Tribber. Let's start with what is Tribber? Can you explain to people that don't have any idea?
Yeah, I'll try. It's a social network for bloggers, basically. And whereas the mandate of all other social networks, Twitter, Facebook, G+, whatever, their mandate is to bring people onto their platform and keep them there. Our mandate is to help you bring more eyeballs onto your own blog. So our mandate is to help you grow your traffic, grow your audience, grow your blog, instead of sort of, you know, focusing everything on Tribber. So we're kind of sitting in the middle between you and the audience.
Now, Kimmy is as a salon owner, she blogs a little bit, but so as the salon owner, small business, is this product this platform recommended for even the little businesses like that are blogging?
It's actually built for little bloggers and medium-sized bloggers. That's really who our audience is. Large blogs don't need our help. They already have traffic and the audience.
So the small business owner can benefit because they have content to share and give and just it builds a community?
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, you can. It's like the easiest way to curate content on social media. So it's very easy to consume content, to comment on articles, to share those articles. You don't even have to click. You just hover over the little approve button, and that schedules it out to go out to Twitter, to Facebook, and so on. So it's a really easy way to consume and to curate content. It's a great way to connect with other leaders and thought leaders and influencers in your space. And if you have content of your own, if you have a blog of your own, you connect the RSS feed to Tribber, and we automatically import your latest blog post, and we show it to all of your tribe mates, and they check it out, and if they like it, if they think their audience is going to like it, they easily approve it to get shared and stuff like that.
Great idea.
Nice. What made you think of this product?
A big giant pain is what made me think of it. Because everything I just described, I was already doing with my little tribe of bloggers back in 2009 and 2010. I was doing all this SEO nonsense and all kinds of gray hat trickery and whatnot. And the thing that really worked, there was about 15 of us, and we were reading each other's content, sharing each other's content, and that's I managed to build a nice little community. I managed to build a nice little audience from that. but it was impossible to scale. Like if I wanted to grow it to like 50 or 150 bloggers, I just couldn't because it was too hard going to like, imagine going to 50 blogs every day or something like that. That's insane. So I'm like, there's got to be a tool that allow me to bring all of my favorite bloggers into one spot and allow me to read their content, to comment on their content, and to share their content. And sure enough, there was no such tool. So we built it.
Awesome. That's great.
Nice, nice. And how can you break down a little bit of how it works, like how to get started, and then what the steps people would take?
Yeah, you sign up just like any other platform. You make sure that your RSS is connected. That's kind of the biggest pain point for a lot of people because RSS is so like geeky, and most people don't understand what it is. It's like RSS stands for Real Simple Syndication, and like FeedBurner is an example of an RSS feed. But it's just a URL, like in my case, my RSS feed is like dinodogan.com/feed or /RSS. Right? So, and different platforms have different URLs for it. So that's the most difficult part. Once you figure out what your URL for the RSS feed is, you punch it into Tribber, and you're good to go. From that point forward, we're gonna import all your latest posts. So you don't have to like copy a link and paste the way you do on Facebook. We automatically import that stuff into Tribber. And at that point, you just need to connect with people whose content you love to read and love to share. So you can join existing tribes, or you can build your own tribe and invite people who who rock your world on a daily basis with their content. You just use it as your sort of a daily reading place. You go in there, you spend 5 minutes checking out what everyone's doing. You approve their content to get shared. You can approve like 10, 15, 20 posts in like 5 minutes, and Tribber just staggers them out and shares them to Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and so on. And all your tribe mates do the same thing for your content.
That's great.
Yeah.
The more I'm active there, the more I do see my content shared, and then when I forget and pull back, I notice that suddenly the content is, and I know who the Tribber people are that are really sharing the content, so it is, I think the more you engage there, the more, it's kind of like any social network, correct? Where
it is,
the more you engage.
It is, but I would also add that Tribber is built to reward you tenfold, right? So when little bit of effort yields a lot of outcome. So I'll give you an example. When I share your post, right? Tribber has this thing called the affinity algorithm. And when I share your post, I'm showing affinity for you. So what Tribber does, it's like a giant karmic engine, says, oh, Dino likes Janet. How about we show Janet Dino's content, see if she likes Dino's content, right? So Tribber sticks my post right on top of your stream, and that gives you an opportunity to reciprocate.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to hunt and peck. Yeah, that's great.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So this is getting down to the you have a specific kind of your own little algorithm there. So. Oh
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What would you say makes using Tribber? What would you say? We want to get into a little bit more about the uniqueness of standing out in this crowded world of social media and that kind of thing. What benefit could Tribber be, or what would you suggest, just in your experience?
Well, so let's tie it all together, right? Let's tie the whole standing out idea or the theme of this show and Tribber. A great way to stand out is to do exact opposite of what everybody else is doing. And what's everybody else is doing? Everybody's saying is, hey, look at me. Hey, look at my content. Hey, I did this thing yesterday. Why don't you go check it out and read? How about you share my stuff, right? Everybody's doing that. What Tribber allows you to do, Tribber allows you to do exact opposite. It allows you to promote your friends. It allows you to, showcase somebody else rather than showcase yourself. And then what Tribber does in return, your friends end up showcasing you. So it's a kind of a reciprocal exchange of audience, if you will. So that's that's one way that Tribber helps people stand out in a fundamental way.
Well, you're just help edifying the people that are in your influence, and a lot of times when you're telling people how much you like what they do, other people look at you as a referral source.
Absolutely.
So they say, "Hey, Kimmy, who do you know that does plumbing, or who do you know that's good at hair coloring?"
Yeah.
And because I've been able to share information to other business owners around me and I edify them, they come to me as the referral source. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll pretend I know what edify means, but yeah.
You don't know what edify? It just means talk you up. Make sure that you know that I think that you have a valuable service.
Must be like a New Jersey thing, or I don't know. We're Midwest, so I don't know.
What the heck? I think you're cool. How's that?
Born and raised in Bosnia, English is my second language, so
sure,
easy on me.
Okay, well, it just means that I think you're cool.
Right on.
All right.
Well, it's giving back. So if you give, what you don't want to expect ever to get anything back, but that's it. In the end, that's usually what happens, and so that's kind of how Tribber is set up, correct?
Yeah, because reciprocity is such a basic, fundamental human emotion. All mammals have it. The best groomed ape at the zoo is the one that does most grooming on others. We're just reciprocity-driven animals. Somebody does nice for us, there's all of a sudden this notion of imbalance in the universe. It's like I look to reciprocate the nice thing you've done for me. So, and that's essentially the basic fundamental principle of it.
It makes me think of that movie, Pay It Forward.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. And the Pay It Forward, that's happening a lot in the drive-thrus. I've had that happen a few times. Speaking of the Pay It Forward, it's been happening a lot at the McDonald's drive-thru and stuff like that, where they're buying for the person behind them. And Nick Unsworth has a great Pay It Forward Friday. He does it every single Friday, and then he says Pay It Forward, and they do a different video. So there's some good stuff out there, and I love that all these ideas, and how there's actually a platform built that's kind of our secret. We're trying to get that secret out here.
Yeah.
And I honestly, Mike's show was where I had heard of it first.
Mike Brooks, Chatter.
Yes.
Right
yes, on. You got it. Yes, and so just happened to be listening to his podcast and an interview with you, and so it shows that these podcasts work too.
Love it. I love podcasts.
And let's get into talking a little about the podcast. I'd love to hear about your other podcast that you have, because we might as well, promote you here and talk about what you discuss on that podcast also.
Yeah, cool. So Mike Brooks and I have a podcast. It's called Road to TED, and we interview TED speakers as they prepare for the most important talk of their life. So it's about 20 minutes of interviewing the person about their public speaking journey, and then the other 20 minutes we hang up on them and then we talk about them behind their back. So,
hey, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, we discuss what we learned, during the first 20 minutes and the lessons we've extracted and stuff like that. Because both Mike and I are huge. We just love the whole art and craft of public speaking. It's such a fascinating topic to us. So it's great to talk about these people who are preparing for a TED Talk, which if anyone watching or listening to this is not aware, TED Talks are just amazing. It's like the pinnacle of public speaking. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to interview people who are preparing for that.
Nice. And what made you decide to do that type of topic for your podcast?
Mike did.
Okay.
Mike and I are good buddies. We've been buddies for about a couple of years now, and we talk on Skype all the time and whatnot. And I've been a host on his podcast, and we have fun talking to each other in general, right? So he came to me last year and he's like, dude, we got to do a podcast together. I'm like, no way. Like, there's no way I can do a podcast. It's like I'm running Triber. Now we're raising money. There's like a million things to do. And he's like, no. All you got to do is record with me, and then I'll do everything else. And I'm like, sold. You know, if you're going to do all the heavy lifting, I'll talk for 40 minutes. I don't care. You know, I can do that.
That's great.
That's how it came about.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, that's something that our audience. So what was the name of that again?
Road to TED.
Road to TED. Okay. Very easy to remember. Road to TED.
We want to run spin-offs too, like Road to Bed relationship podcast.
That might be kind of interesting. Either you put them to bed, because they're not interesting.
That's right.
Oh, that's great. Good. Well, we have the one thing that we really like to do with so that our audience has a task in the next 24 hours. Mm-hmm. What would you suggest they do for their business? And let's go back to Triber. I'd like to have them try out Triber. So what could they do in the first task that they could simply implement in the next 24 hours that could make a difference for them in their business? Yeah,
absolutely. Number one is start a blog. If you don't have a blog, you don't have a voice.
Yes.
And Twitter, Facebook, G+, that doesn't count. It's a rent versus own argument. You know, anytime you post anything on Facebook, you're building somebody else's empire with your bricks. You need to own your own empire. And you don't own Facebook. They will shut you down if you get out of line. Twitter, same thing. G+, same thing. You need to own your empire. And that empire is your blog. So if you don't have a blog, you need to start a blog. The reason I have my own business today, Tribber, and it all came from a blog. You know, I built a community with my blog, and then I took that community and asked them to join this dinky little shack that we erected in the middle of nowhere that we call Tribber. That's what it was originally, you know. It was clunky and ugly, but I had a couple of hundred people who didn't mind. You know, they came in, they gave us feedback, they invited their friends. The reason I have a business is because of my blog. There's a direct correlation. So if you don't have a blog, start a blog. That's number one. Number two is you need a tribe. It takes a village to raise a baby. It takes a village to raise a blog. You need a tribe. It just so happens that my platform, Tribber, helps you build that tribe. So go sign up for Tribber. That's number three.
Perfect. And it's free. We haven't mentioned that either. So there's a paid version, but to get started, it's free.
Absolutely. Correct? Yeah, most people don't need a paid version. Paid versions for like multi-author blogs or company blogs or agency blogs or generally speaking like bigger blogs. You can do everything you need to do for free.
And then you have a plugin too for people that are familiar with blogging and already do have a blog and use the WordPress. Can you talk a little bit about that plugin also? Yeah,
Triber plugin for self-hosted WordPress. It just, you know, it was a necessity. You know, our biggest cost in terms of system cost, our biggest cost is crawling RSS feeds. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of RSS feeds, and we need to crawl them on continual basis to detect if there's a new post that's been published. So, I mean, that's just super high cost, right? And then it can, from a blogger's perspective, or podcasters, YouTuber, whatever, from a content creator perspective, it can take an hour, 2 hours to, you know, pull your latest post. So with the Triber plugin, number one thing that it addresses is that issue. So anytime you publish a new post, Triber plugin does the ET phone home, you know, Elliot, you know. So Triber plugin notifies Triber that there's a new post and your post gets imported immediately.
Nice. Okay. So
there's some other stuff too, but you know, whatever. Like it imports the pictures and stuff like that.
Okay. And you did have a reblog at one point. Is that still available?
No. Okay. You know, one of the most difficult things about running a startup, especially bootstrapped startup, is you know, resources are a big issue. So over the last 3 years that we've been around, repeatedly we've had to kill our babies. We had some amazing features. We had this thing called headline testing area. So it was basically hot or not for headlines. And other people, right?
Yeah.
Community people can vote on which headline they would be more likely to click on. It was incredibly popular. People were using it in just all the time. It was really great, but we couldn't maintain it. We had to kill it because we just couldn't allocate resources, development resources, and all that stuff. And Reblog is another such tragic story. Reblog was around, and then WordPress did some updates. We couldn't allocate resources to keep up with those updates and update the plugin to work with Reblog. So we had to kill it. But Reblog is the future of Tribber. And if I have my say, it's the future of the blogosphere. Because if you can retweet a tweet or reshare a Facebook post, why can't you retweet or reblog an entire article along with the authorship and along with the comments? So both the content and the engagement, the comments piece, is syndicated. That's what Reblog did, and we just couldn't, I mean, imagine if you publish a blog post and now it's published across 50 other blogs.
Yeah, and the authorship is included. Then you're not dinged for SEO work as long as the authorship is all attached.
Yeah, authorship is included, and you get the exposure, and you get no traffic. And by the way, traffic is a cost center. Like, people have this idea that traffic is a good thing. Traffic is a cost center. You don't want traffic. You want attention that comes from traffic, right?
Oh, sure. Yep.
That's the subtle difference, right? If you have like a Beanie Babies store in the middle of Manhattan, right, and 1,000 people walk through your store and they don't buy anything, that's traffic. What did you get from that traffic? Nothing, right? So it's the attention from the traffic that you want. And with Reblog, you eliminate the cost of traffic and you still benefit from the attention. Authorship is there. Anybody leaves a comment on any instance of the blog post, it gets replicated across all 50 other ones. And it's just, I mean, it was a great feature. And we will bring it back.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I had used it at one point, and then had just not used it in a while, and then all of a sudden I noticed it was gone. So I'm glad I spoke directly to the source here about that. Okay, well.
Everybody's asking me about it. It's a great feature. We will bring it back. We're looking to raise money this year, and that means we'll be able to hire people and address resource allocation issue that we're not able to address right now. And that means Reblog. That's like the first one on the list.
Good, good. Well, that's good. And even without it, your program is excellent, and I think everybody should get over there and test it out and start. Join a tribe, start a tribe. Would you suggest when people get on? I have actually not started my own tribe. I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't start.
That's okay.
So I just went in with other people. And so, but what would you suggest? I mean, would you suggest people start one of their own when they go on, or just join and just see how it goes? What's your suggestion there?
Life's an and, not an or. You don't have to just join a tribe or just start a tribe. Do both. Got it.
Got it. Great. Wow.
Everywhere. Right, Janet?
Exactly. Well, this was great. I love your analogies. The gorilla's still sticking in my head. I don't know.
Nice.
I love it. Well, and we're going to have Kimmy finish up and ask you a couple more questions.
Sweet. I love questions from Kimmy.
Oh, thank you. Hey, the question I have is, where can people find you and your products? Where do you want them to connect with you online?
DinoDogan.com, that's my personal blog, and Tribber is Triberr.com, tribe with 2 R's at the end. Triberr.com.
How about Twitter? Are you a tweeter?
At Dino Dogan, yeah. Actually, I'll share a little secret with you guys. The reason I started Tribber is so that I have an excuse for being on Twitter all day. So I'm most definitely on Twitter.
Oh, wow. Great.
Well, thanks
Great.
so much for coming on the show. We really
Thank you
appreciate
for having
it.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Dino. Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye, you guys.